When creativity blossoms, thinking emanates. When thinking emanates, knowledge is fully lit. When knowledge is lit, the economy flourishes. A very good day to you and welcome to Spotlight with Kem Kem. On Spotlight with Kem Kem today, we'll be looking at the creative economy, and who better to do that with but with a man who has done audacious things in the creative world. He is the founder of the Temple Company and Ogidi Studios, a multi-entrepreneur, a man who has done audacious things in the entertainment world, built the biggest and the best studio in Nigeria as we speak. The founder of the Temple Company, whose mission is to become Africa's leading entertainment hub, building an all-inclusive creative ecosystem that will stand the test of time and usher in the new ways of African excellence. For the Temple Company, being audacious is being ordinary. Audacious, audacious, audacious is what they're known for. A very good day to you and welcome to Spotlight with Kem Kem, Idris Olorunnimbe.
Hello, Kem Kem. Hello again, Kem Kem.
The Temple Company has done things that many people previously thought was impossible. What is the driving force for the Temple Company?
I think that it's important that we first give credit to those who were here before us. Because yes, I mean, we've been able to accomplish some feats, but we learned from some of the things that had been done in the past. And also, I mean, when we learn from things done, we learn from the good and the bad. So we try not to make the same mistakes that they made. And where they did it right, we've tried to improve on it. So there's something that drives all of us at the Temple Company. We're audacious people. So it's the audacity more than anything else, and our passion for African excellence, and the fact that, I mean, we just feel that, look, there's no reason why any part of the world should leave us behind. I have been to meetings in many countries. I have never sat across from somebody who had two heads. So what it means is that if they can't do it, we can do it. And we can do it even better. So that's the challenge that drives us. And is what fuels us. It's what keeps us up at night. It's the first thing that comes up when we get up in the morning. And the fact that when you think about it as well, and you think about the creative industries of the developed nations, the formula is the same. The people are the same. When Nigerians go everywhere in the world, they excel. In school, at work, in sports, whatever it is. So what is it about the water we're drinking here that slows us down?
Let's look at the audacity to have created the Ogidi Studios. That is one I don't know if it's multi-billion dollars or multi-million dollars, but it's one studio that no one has gone into and has not left wowed. How did you take that on and were able to create what you saw, into what the Ogidi Studios is?
So again, it was from traveling abroad. You sit in meetings where they recognize the fact that Afrobeat is hot. It's hot. It's hot. That's the lingo. And they tell you that there's the next big thing. And then they go on to say stuff like, when I hear that you guys don't have good studios out there, that a lot of your artists have to come here to come and mix and master and engineer their music. And I mean, we thought that it was an insult that we had heard too many times. And we asked, so what is it that makes a good studio? Is it the sun or is it the snow? If it's snow, so maybe we have a disadvantage because we don't have snow in Nigeria. But it's not. It's the engineering. the construction of the acoustics of the room, the bass traps and the diffusers, and the board, which is the mixing board. That's what makes it. Can we get a board to Nigeria? Has it been banned? Is it contraband? No, it's not. It's just expensive. But we also understand that quality is expensive. We have to sneak it into the country. And the answer was no. It is available to purchase, but it is expensive. But to measure up with the world and for it to be world class, that's the minimum that was required. So we asked, what's the best mixing board in the world? And they said it's the Neve. That the Neve is the Rolls Royce of audio engineering. And we said only the Neve is good enough for our studio. And thankfully, the investors in the turbo company, they see the vision as well. They understand that it's a long game. And they also understand that it's a game that is going to pay. And it's going to pay big. So they dug into their wallets. And they made the resources available. And I can tell you today, Kem, that the Neve board, the Neve Genesis Black that we have in Ogidi Studios in Lekki, Lagos, is the only one in Nigeria.
Wow.
It's the only one in West Africa. I've heard that the engineers who came to come and do the installation came from South Africa. And he said to me that he knows of only 2 in Johannesburg. So that's the kind of infrastructure that we have put in place. Because like I said, look, we believe very strongly in going hard or going home. And they have told us at home, don't come back. And succeed.
Fantastic.
And so we will succeed within the limits of whatever our resources are, the limitations of even our minds. But and
the mind is limitless, actually.
The mind is limitless, but the mind of the Templar is doubly
limitless. Are you serious? Okay, let's go into production for Wakanda, the Black Panther. How did you cut that deal?
So, I've always said, and I think I've said it before at one of our maybe board retreats or management meetings. And I remember that day when I said it, it was my colleague Tifat Giado, our director of communication, who said, I was going to tweet that. I think what I said was along the lines of, if you build it, you'll come.
Wow.
And that's the story of Black Panther 2. We built the studio, we equipped it. They came to Lagos because they felt that the Afrobeat elements in the soundtrack had to be made in Africa and in Nigeria and in Lagos. And they had already arrived in Lagos. And I think someone mentioned that there's a world-class studio here. And they were like, really? And they came. And they agreed that there was a world-class studio here. Oh. And they locked down 6 studios for the next, I think it was about 2 weeks or so. And every day and every night, they had a camp with artists visiting from other parts of Nigeria and Africa to come and either play an instrument or record their lines. And that's how music magic was made in Ogidi. Absolutely no, I didn't have to call anybody. I didn't have to lobby. I didn't have to do anything.
I'm curious, how many figures in dollars did that earn the Ogidi Studios?
So, typically, it would have earned us a lot more.
Okay.
But, so the total budget for the project, I think, was $250 million. We got a very small check. Could have been more. Should have been more. But it's also not as a result of the producers. It's as a result of the level of our infrastructure. And
negotiated.
250 million is production and marketing budget.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
The only thing that was produced in Nigeria were the songs that they locked in our studio, for which they paid what our rate is. So it wasn't like they said, because we are coming to Nigeria and your studio is fine and it's the best, we'll pay 10 times the cost.
Okay.
But if our infrastructure was so advanced that more things could be done in terms of maybe acting some scenes, in terms of maybe creating some of the costumes, in terms, would have gotten a bigger check.
Okay.
And that's where we are going.
Let's talking about checks, right? The creative economy in Nigeria is blowing up. Initially it used to be just music, and then you needed producers and
music. There was actually fashion.
Okay, well, you're a fashion entrepreneur, so I can.
You remember that many, many, many years ago, people were already dying for designers like Sophisticat, Latrice,
then there was the whole bar. Yeah, true that.
So, look, Kem, you just need to cast your mind back not too far. What we're witnessing now, it started, but it was truncated. I don't want to blame anybody, but if we're continued on the trajectory of that time, I will not be here with this kind of titles that you have given me. In the 70s and 80s, the international record labels were in Nigeria. When Cobhams visited our studio, he said that the only other time that he had touched a Neve in Nigeria, I think, was the one that Decca must have had.
Decca Records?
Yes. Fela was signed to Decca, if I remember correctly. Sony was here.
What took them all away? Being in that field, you should know.
So, policy. Now, we're at a point in our national consciousness that we know that the policy for the creative industry is as important as the policy for the oil and gas sector or the agri sector or the educational sector. And I am excited about what the immediate future holds. Because I know, as a matter of fact, that when the present administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, won the election, they set up a few advisory councils. I know that there was one that was formed that was called Sports, Arts, Culture and Entertainment. And it was chaired by my colleague, Tifati Giado. And their mandate was simple. What do we need to do to get this sector to be bigger, to be better, to be more efficient? And they made recommendations that I trust the administration is going to use and implement.
Let's look at the tangibility, right, of the creative economy. Creativity is not particularly tangible, right? But then policies could affect it, right? you are in the creative economy and you have been able to actually make a name with the Temple Company and all of that. How tangible, take for example, in 10 years, where should we be looking at the creative economy and how much should Nigeria as a country, beyond the players in the industry itself, be expecting from the creative economy?
So, I'm not going to give you numbers, but let me explain what the possibilities are to you. Again, you see, I said at the beginning that it's a long game.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So you can make it affordable. If you're able to access affordable credit.
Okay.
For the creative industry, you cannot give us credit at the same rates that you give at commercial rates. Right?
Yeah.
Because for us, it takes longer. Now, I don't want to give away too much. Because again, I want to have my advantages when the opportunities come.
Present themselves.
And by telling you that when you think about a cinema, you don't have to think about something grand.
Okay, so you'll be revealing trade secrets.
Because look, at the end of the day, what is a cinema?
Where people gather to watch on a big screen.
What do you need?
A big screen.
And
seats.
And
popcorn.
I don't even need popcorn. You can that's off.
Oh well, that's true. That's true. Oh, I know.
It's also popular.
Oh.
And sound.
Sound, that's true.
It doesn't have to be IMAX.
Okay. Now you are now okay.
You have the cinema.
Yes.
Already, the industry is doing we have the highest number of releases, but because there's hardly anywhere to promote it beyond television, a lot of it just goes straight to TV.
When it could have gone through the cinema.
Yes, and done the run. Now, in terms of way that we produce movies that go to cinemas, now, the cinemas, we don't have many, or rather, we don't have enough. We have many, we don't have enough. So even the movies that could have done a longer period, because the new titles released almost on a weekly basis, they have to kick you out of the cinema so somebody else can get a time slot.
Okay.
There's no rule, Gemke,
that
says that the movie should be only in the cinema for 3 weeks or 4 weeks.
Fine.
But you have made your own. I have to get out of the way for you to play your own.
Oh. Okay. Now, I would like us to go through the whole gamut, because I understand that the Temple Company in itself, right, is interested in the full gamut of the entertainment industry, from fashion to sound to creation. So from content to fashion. I want us to go through that gamut so that we look at the entire value chain of what to expect in the creative economy. So that someone might be watching Spotlight with Kem today and say, hey, I want to key into this part of it.
Key into Temple, they should call me. We're looking for investors to give money.
Investors.
The dreams, might be. I read somewhere that if your dreams don't scare you, then
it's time to wake up. It's time to wake up.
Wake up, shit.
No, what I mean by that now is the creatives themselves.
Yes.
Looking at the creative economy, we have people keep mouthing all the the statistics with regards to unemployment, right? Oh, the youths are this, the youths are that. But there must be some way, somehow, that people can creatively get into this space and not necessarily have to look for employment, right? So I'd like us to just go through for creatives, not for investors right now. But of course, investors, if you're interested, you should be calling Idris Olorunnimbe right now, because he's audacious and the Temple Company is ready to, bring to life what your investments, would be doing in terms of the fact that returns on investments are available. So let's go to the creatives. the gamut of the creative economy. Let's start from where people should start thinking of keying into, and then get to maybe the climax or something.
Okay, so before I answer that,
Okay,
I want to talk about perhaps Audacity isn't the only reason why you would invest. I think that integrity is important as well.
that's true.
I think is one of the things that would bring very, very strongly to the table. Now, that aside, so the creative industry, we recently, last year, we had our first class. We called it the Ogidi Creative Center. We ran the program in partnership with the Lagos State government. We in partnership with the Lagos State Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture. And we also partnered with the University of Lagos at the Henley Business School. Around 10 courses for young people as one of the ways of bridging the skill deficits that we have in the industry. So fashion design was one of it. Now, to be on this show today, I have to wear something.
True thing.
That's fashion. If you was a lady, you were, in fact, you wanted to put powder on my face. I said,
Makeup.
right?
Yeah.
This has to do. Now, your sound guy, who was miking, sound recordists, how many now?
3.
Your DP,
Laptop.
or DOB, yes. That's how many?
4.
When you finish here, there is what? Post-production,
Yeah.
which is edits.
Yeah.
Somebody is going to add graphics, right?
Yes. Absolutely.
That's how many.
6.
Now, depending on what it is, you will still have a sound designer. Because I assume that when you said, my name is Kem Kem, there'll be some audio that will go with it and all that. And then you must also maybe have a theme song and all that. Somebody who went through that kind of program already produced.
Yeah.
Animation. So maybe the opening montage would be a 3D Kem with her glasses and a turban, strolling onto the screen.
Okay. Yes.
That's how many now.
Well,
But anyway,
I think we've got 10 actually.
so now apart from that, there's the producer.
Yeah.
Who holds it together? There's the gaffer who deals with lighting. There's catering. Everybody must eat. There are the guys in logistics who are moving the equipment and moving the people. This is only film that we're talking about.
And Temple Company takes care of all of this.
We, I mean, our first movie, we won an AMVCA.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Introducing the Kujus is available on Amazon Prime now. We've done a sequel, The Kujus again.
Okay.
We also produced a movie, My Village People, in partnership with Film House and Bovie. We also have another one, a romantic comedy with Lara and Toby, that we also produced in partnership, So,
let's look at the recent visits of the UK Foreign Secretary, Right Honorable James Cleverly, to Nigeria.
MC Clef.
Oh, is that his name?
Oh, yeah, you'll hear about that soon. He had his first music recording experience, Mini Studio. Yes.
That's it. Now, he visited the Nigerian Stock Exchange He visited the president, and he visited Ogidi Studios. That is something to be very proud of. What was it all about?
So look, it's about. So the theme of his tour was go far, go together. Now, there's also a Yoruba an African proverb that says if you want to go fast, well, if you want to go far, go together. So they've looked and they've identified our creative industry as one of the definite growth areas. They are theirs, and I think that they do last year or so they did over 100 billion pounds, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah. Are you saying that the creative industry can actually beat perhaps the oil export and all of that in Nigeria?
I have no doubt that it can.
What do we have to do to get to that place?
So there are a few things. Both of them have to do with commitment. Commitment of all sorts of people in terms of investment.
Okay.
We have two deficits to block. An infrastructure deficit and a skill deficit. So, infrastructure-wise, studios, arenas, and when you think creative industry, you think entertainment. And sports is entertainment.
Sure.
Sports is the greatest live entertainment known to man. Because is it going to score? Is it going to? What is it going to do? Is it going to? Keeps you on the edge of your seats. So, arenas, hubs for production, which would double as hubs for learning. Lots for production, so that we can attract studios like those who made the Avengers and so on and so forth, and made Woman King, to bring it to Lagos, where our weather is really good, where we have the most hospitable people, where we will have the most skilled people at prices that will be relatively cheaper than it is in the United States, in the UK, and in Canada, where they like to shoot now. So once we bridge those two things, and then by the time we start to bridge the skill gap, it also means that our lawyers will get better in terms of how they write their contracts, in terms of things like publishing and so on and so forth. And once they get better, it also means that it will be easier for our laws to be interpreted and enforced. Because there are two sides, and one side doesn't understand it, the document that you're likely to make would not be one that is rich enough or fit for global standards. Because people complain sometimes about the laws, but we have some of the laws that are good enough. But because typically someone infringes on your right, justice can be slow. People get impatient. They want it now. So as a result of that, they will not pursue.
Let's quickly talk about the management side to the Temple company. You have managed quite the number of artists, over the years. How many do you still have artists under the Temple management? You do. And what do they start to gain as a part of the Temple management company?
Professional support.
Which includes
legal, which includes financial, which includes your day-to-day, which includes worrying for you so that you can focus on your business, which includes getting creative as to how we can optimize your brand, which includes ensuring that you are in the right places. So the talent manager is very simply put an extension of the talent. You are a friend, you are a protector, you are a promoter, you are a teacher, you are a parent. Because when you need to be firm, there's no other way but for you to be firm. So your manager must be somebody who perhaps is more experienced than you. So that, because your manager is also your guide.
So the Temple Management Company manages artists, actors.
Yes, we manage talents. Yes.
Talents in general. So do you manage everything?
Absolutely.
Oh.
Kem is a TV personality. She's an influencer. And she's not average. Kem is an outstanding presenter. So
I need to be sure he's still in place.
I would be proud to have you on our roster as a host and every other thing that you do. And I mean, we deserve to get a piece of your wealth. But the manager gets a commission.
Of course.
I mean, so when the talent ends nothing, the manager ends
nothing.
Whatever percentage it is that they assigned of nothing.
Well, as it is Spotlight with Ken, usually we don't have enough time to, discuss with our guests. Sometimes we want to talk with them for like 10 hours because we have a lot of stuff, And of course, you would agree with me that Idris Olorunnimbe has a lot of stuff. If you're just joining us, and this is just a clipping of which you need to go back and watch the full clip in its entirety. It's been an interesting conversation so far. But before we go, we need to touch on something very important, and that's Afro Nation concert, right? The Afro Nation concert has been to different parts of the world, Portugal, maybe Ghana, close to Nigeria, but has never been to Nigeria. And I dare say that Nigeria is the Afrobeat headquarters of the world. How come we're getting Afro Nation for the first time since its inception? What is happening?
So before I answer that, I think I want to talk about the fact that what you said at first about the program and how time, you don't have enough time and all of that. I don't think it's a function of the guest. I think it's a function of the host.
Oh,
I think there's a way that you get to dig deep and you just get people to want to say more and more, because and I'm not trying to pay unnecessary or compliments that are not deserved, but the truth is that there's some interviews that actually feel like 2 hours long and you've been there for only 10 minutes. So now we go to the Marshall Afro Nation. Lagos is the entertainment capital of Africa, period. I remember in 2010 or 2011, Mo Cheddar said, if you're not in Lagos, your Fuji is dolly. Now, Afro Nation going everywhere, going to Ghana in Africa before coming to Nigeria, I think is also a function of learning the ropes. If Afro Nation had come to Nigeria without practicing anywhere else, there's a chance that you would have, it may not have gone well.
Okay.
So they've had the show multiple times in Ghana, and they're now ready to break it home. So like you said, the headquarters, the tastemaker, the place where if you are not there, your Fuji is dulling.
Happy?
And I can assure you and our viewers that we're bringing our A game. And the festival in Lagos is going to be the best festival, the best Afro Nation festival ever.
What should people be expecting?
An amazing an amazing experience. A world-class, world-standard arena with world-class and world-standard performances from their favorites.
Wow.
I will not say
Anymore.
if you go and register and start seeing.
Oh, wow. Registration open now?
Yes, the portal is open. The first hour after it was open, there were 10,000 people who registered.
Oh, wow.
The first 1 hour. And the festival also brings people. So some of the guests who are coming to experience Afro Nation in Nigeria, in Lagos for the first time, are coming as tourists.
Wow.
You see, look, hopefully another time.
Yeah.
But all of this is tied. So, they talk about circular economy. But the real circular economy, is the creative industry, the entertainment industry, because it doesn't waste. When you make mistakes, we call them bloopers. You can watch bloopers over and over, and they are always funny.
Absolutely.
Content does not expire.
That's very true.
Actors, actresses do not expire. When you are 10, you can be a child in the movie. When you're 20, you can be a lady or a young man in the movie.
Absolutely.
When you're 30, you can be a father in the movie.
Or a mother.
When you're 60, you can be grandma or grandpa. When you're 80 and you decide that you don't want to act anymore, you can write. Same thing with sports. JJ has stopped playing. He's a pundit sometimes. He does mentoring for players. The creative industry, the entertainment industry does not waste. So everything that we have, we use and we reuse. In November this year, again, our mothers from Ibadan, CAC, will start to bank again.
And that's a good place to drop in on Spotlight with Ken today. I've been speaking with Idris Olorunnimbe, the founder and GC of the Temple Company and, of course, Ogidi Studios. I'm sure you've had a lot of fun listening to this on Spotlight with Ken, where we bring you the best of the best crop in Nigeria and beyond. My name is Ken, but I'll leave you with this. There is no doubt that creativity is the most important human resource of all. Without creativity, there will be no progress and we will forever be repeating the same patterns. Those are words of Edward Bay Bono, and I'll catch you again some other time on Spotlight with Ken. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you, Ken, for having me, and thank you to your wonderful crew and to the people who be in your post-production. I appreciate them because I see them all the time and I know the kind of work that they put in. It takes a village when you're doing these things, and thanks to the villagers.
Thank you.
Over the years, employability has moved from what you studied to what you can do. Knowledge that cannot be applied is useless in today's world. That is why at Summit University Offa, Sun Offa, owned by Ansarudin Society of Nigeria, our goal is not to produce only employable graduates, but to graduate entrepreneurs and job creators who shine in their world like the products of Sun Offa that they are. Enroll today by visiting www.summituniversity.edu.ng. Inter-university transfer is also available for undergraduates willing to complete their studies at Summit University Offa. Sun Offa. We shine like the sun.